I think a lot of people could get a lot of benefit out of, addressing their own characteristics that they might not be so at peace with right now. I think the team there is very good at helping people realize you are good enough. I know there's a lot of high standards. The word perfect is thrown a lot in our movement, but you kind of already are perfect. You just need to find that peace and acceptance and continue to grow with Heavenly Parent towards God. Hello, brothers and sisters. My name is Ellis Martin. I'm 28 years old, part of the Indianapolis Family Church community. I'm a first-generation member of the Unification Church. I joined a little over 10 months ago. This last spring, I took part in High Noon's Core Cycle 2. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about my journey from a person of no faith to where I'm at now, and how High Noon has been a really big stepping stone for me in my journey. Talk about my takeaways a little bit, some of the cool things about High Noon I think a lot of people could enjoy and learn from. Hopefully something I say today can inspire you or help you as you work on yourself towards your own matching and blessing journey. When I joined the movement, I heard about High Noon a couple times, never really asked anybody about it or really considered it something I wanted to do. I just knew it was a tool for people who are struggling with some of those addictive sins we can have. Is a way for them to cope with their vices or address their things like that. Yeah. I was more focused on getting to know God and was really happy with my relationship, where it was growing, how I was growing. So I didn't think much about High Noon for like 6 months. My first 6 months with the church, it was nothing. Then I went to Korea and I did the Ring Next Spring workshop. And part of that, the High Noon team was involved in. Really good lectures about kind of establishing a more realistic interpretation of what the blessing is, especially for me. Prior to Korea, we'll even go further back. When I joined the movement, I had no intention of getting married or having a family. I didn't want those things. I wanted to be by myself, but I liked being alone. I thought that's the life I wanted. Over time, as I came to know Heavenly Parent's love and realized that there's a lot more happiness with people than by ourselves, I kind of realized, okay, I'm going to be blessed someday. And my goal was like 35, 40 years old. I pushed it so far into the future, I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't have to start working on myself. There was like I don't know, an artificial safety net, I guess. Then I go to Korea, like we're back to Korea, meeting the High Noon team, and really powerful testimonies from a lot of the faculty members and team members. And I started to realize that level of perfection I was expecting would have to achieve before I was ready to get married or blessed, wasn't, it was an unrealistic expectation in my mind. A lot of testimonies from blessed couples helped me realize that that's a growing process too. We're supposed to grow with our spouses as we, still continue to mature as a team, as a unit. So that was a big step for me. It knocked about 10 years off my blessing plan. I was like, okay, maybe now we'll aim for like 30, So just from a couple of lectures in Korea with the High Noon team, not a full cycle, not like a full course, but super helpful. A lot of brothers and sisters all seemed to think that was some of the most helpful insights we could get on our Ring Next Spring journey was from the High Noon team. So I come back to Indiana, and I heard somebody mention it. There's like a post-workshop high. I guess I hit like a like a post-workshop low when I got back. I kind of pushed aside a lot of the things I just studied and worked hard to practice and implement in my life. But thankfully, I had two brothers kind of connect with me, and we decided, you know what? We felt really good about ourselves the last couple weeks, months. Let's keep pushing. We held each other accountable, and we decided to join Cycle 2 together. You don't necessarily end up with the people you plan on being with, but we knew that if we were all doing the course together, we could talk to each other about it, reflect on our groups, stuff like that. So thank you to those brothers for holding me accountable and pushing me.
Hey, just a quick intermission to let you know that High Noon has a program just for single people that want to prepare well for marriage. So if you happen to be one of those single people that wants to be a stellar, fantastic, amazing, marriageable man or woman, then check out the core program, which you can find at highnoon.org. It is just for single folks like you who want to get ready for marriage and be ready for marriage. So join that at highnoon.org, and we will see you in the core program.
So yeah, now we're actually in core cycle 2. That's how I got there. That was a mini snapshot of my journey from heathen to somewhat good person who's starting to know God to someone who's really preparing to, be the husband for my wife for eternity, uh, to help God realize his dream, to be part of his family, to have him be a part of mine. So the core cycle, I definitely think the most important or most influential thing to me was kind of just how intentional the High Noon team approaches things. It is very direct. You're there to talk about your shadows. You're there to talk about sexual intimacy and healthy relationships. It's a blessing preparation course. That's what it's for. They don't try to hide it. They don't avoid the tough things to talk about. They don't skirt around anything. Uh, One of my favorite things about the movement is the genuine connections we make. There's so many great mentors and friends I have, and they're almost always fairly open to talking about God or my relationship with Heavenly Parent. If I have a question about true parents or the history of the movement, they're always fine to talk about it. But I don't really feel comfortable going to them with, like, what do I do with my sexual organ, or hey, I've been drinking way too much. How can I help myself be better about that? Those are sort of conversations that, for me at least, didn't feel natural to bring up with a lot of my community members. I didn't want to make them uncomfortable. It didn't feel like it was an appropriate give and take exchange. But High Noon, the core cycle provides that. It's a deliberate group for you to go discuss those questions you have, those insecurities, your darkest shadows. That structure, that intentionality, it's really helpful when you're approaching something as drastic and uh, substantial as looking at the blessing. The way the course is formatted, for me, I got a lot out of the small group discussion time. You have little teams, 5, 6 people, all brothers or all sisters with a facilitator. And you do a little bit of reading, you check in with each other, you set goals. That was really special for me because I was able to be just completely transparent. I was with all other second generations. Here I am, this like problem child, got an extensive history. But I felt like those experiences could help them understand where they were at on their journeys as well. So that was really special. It becomes this environment of deep trust very quickly because you're deliberately talking about these complicated aspects of life. So are my team strong bond, good trust, everybody's trying to support each other and relate to each other. And you'd be surprised how more alike we can be, or how similar we are without really realizing it, especially when it comes to these deeper topics regarding our own character. Let me check my notes here. Yeah. So that was it was a very helpful way for me to learn, was in that small group setting. But I realized not everybody's like me. Everybody learns their own way. Everybody is comfortable in their own skin or in different situations. So I just thought I'd mention something that didn't work for me so well. Is there's this big group chat. And the first week of the cycle, I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to make this condition for my blessing. I want to really put my heart into this program so I can get the most out of it and be better prepared. So I'm going to do these group discussions. I'm going to participate. No. Turns out that is not a good platform for me to learn. It was overwhelming for me, but for other people, like one of my brothers in particular, one of the little accountability triangle we had, he loved the big discussion setting. He was vibrant and really seemed to blossom in that environment. Now, if you're more like me, maybe more introverted, they also have one-on-one you can do, like just you and a staff member, not even another brother or sister that's participating, but someone who's been trained and has experience in this sort of field and work will take time to talk to you one-on-one about whatever you need to talk about. So if you don't have a great relationship with someone who's like a matching supporter for you, or you don't feel comfortable talking with your parents about that sort of things, you can get almost pretty much an anonymous ear to talk to that's going to have some good insight and wisdom for you as well. So that's beautiful thing about High Noon is they really do know what they're doing, and their net is not like a catch-all. They have deliberate strategies aimed at finding you the best way to assess where you're at, address your own personal problems, or, you know, I guess a big thing about core for me was realizing the type of peer I want to be as a husband, the type of man I want to be, how I can get there, why I might stumble sometimes, what to do when it feels hard, who to talk to, how to talk to people. Like, don't do a big group. Maybe some smaller would be better for me, you know? Stuff like that. Uh, Going over my time here a little bit. I hope you maybe resonated with something I had to say today. I hope you're considering trying High Noon. You know, it doesn't have to be like a blessing prep thing like it has been for me. I think a lot of people could get a lot of benefit out of, you know, addressing their own characteristics that they might not be so at peace with right now. I think the team there is very good at helping people realize you are good enough. I know there's a lot of high standards. The word perfect is thrown a lot in our movement, but you know, you kind of already are perfect. You just need to find that peace and acceptance and continue to grow with Heavenly Parent towards God. Uh, yeah, I guess that's what I'm going to say for today. Uh, Having completed Core Cycle 2, personally, I found the self-acceptance I needed to not be so afraid of having a family. I found a lot of courage from the program. I found the motivation I need to kind of move past my shadows. I was reading something by Father recently about when we find that heavenly love, that true love, uh, those dopamine inhibitors kind of fall to the side. You know, I'd rather have this true love than this lesser, not so real love of substance or sex or whatever it may be. Um, yeah, and one of the biggest things I got from the core cycle was the strength and support of a community that I know relates to me, listens to me, trusts me like I trust them. It's a very beautiful reciprocating program. It's pretty easy, not very difficult to stick up with it or keep up with it. The coursework's low. It's more. It's a good time. We've had good laughs talking about kind of embarrassing stuff, but that's life. Yeah, very grateful to the Core Cycle team, my facilitators, my brothers who were part of my team. Thank you so much. I hope you can have a great blessing matching journey, or just find more happiness within yourself. I don't know. Yeah, check it out. Thanks. Bye.